of one of history's most expansive empires, his enduring influence spans through the ages. However, despite this, numerous inquiries about his life persist. Academic circles have long been divided, particularly on a specific point. Recent investigations into ancient remains might have finally unraveled an age-old enigma surrounding the formidable Genghis Khan. In June 2020, a novel research paper emerged that seemingly laid this debate to rest. This scholarly work was featured in the Archaeological Research in Asia Journal and was led by Dr. Jack Fenner, an esteemed archaeologist affiliated with the Australian National University, ANU. Dr. Fenner's distinct approach stood out due to its chemical focus. The study's focal point was a historic site named Avraga, situated in Mongolia. The site's significance was initially highlighted by Japanese archaeologist Noriyuki Shirishi, whose assertions about its connection to Genghis Khan intrigued Dr. Fenner. Avraga had been the subject of archaeological excavations for several years by a collaborative team comprising members from Mongolia and Japan. These endeavors yielded remarkable findings, including animal remains. While seemingly unremarkable to the layperson, these discoveries carried groundbreaking implications for archaeologists. Employing contemporary carbon dating techniques, Fenner and his team meticulously analyzed these ancient bones. Their efforts appeared to corroborate Shirishi's hypothesis, suggesting that Avraga had been intimately linked to the enigmatic leader of one of history's most remarkable empires. Genghis Khan's enduring legacy is undeniable. Nevertheless, historical records documenting his early years are relatively scarce. The majority of insights into his youth are gleaned from The Secret History of the Mongols, a text compiled shortly after his demise. This work stands as one of the earliest known accounts of Mongolia and its historical trajectory. Drawing from available sources, it becomes evident that Genghis Khan, originally named Temujin, was born around 1162. His early life was marred by distressing circumstances. His father's abduction and coercion of his mother into marriage marked a grim beginning. Temujin experienced brutal violence during his formative years, compounded by the turbulent state of Central Asia at the time. This region was rife with warring nomadic clans, resulting in a life fraught with uncertainty. Tragically, before reaching adolescence, Temujin's father was slain, and his tribe callously abandoned him, along with his mother and siblings, leaving them bereft of sustenance. The subsequent course of events escalated into a familial feud. Subsequently, Temujin confronted a harrowing scenario. He took the life of his older half-brother, thereby assuming the leadership of his family. However, his challenges remained unrelenting. At a certain juncture, he found himself ensnared in the clutches of slavery imposed by his former tribe. Yet, against all odds, he managed to break free. Around 1178, Temujin entered into matrimony with a woman named Bort, and their union yielded multiple children, including 4 sons. The exact number of daughters remains unclear. In a characteristic display of brutality, Temujin's wife was abducted, prompting him to embark on a relentless quest to reclaim her. This pursuit not only showcased his formidable combat skills, but also earned him a reputation for fearlessness. As his following grew, Temujin adopted an unconventional approach by appointing individuals to prominent positions based on merit rather than familial ties. This inclusive stance extended to absorbing new members from conquered enemy clans. Temujin and his loyalists waged fierce battles, prevailing over rival groups and solidifying his dominion by 1205. With unchallenged authority, he undertook the ambitious task of founding a unified nation. Bestowed with the title Genghis Khan, roughly translated to universal ruler, he governed a populace of nearly 1 million. Striving to quell internal strife, he instituted bans on actions that could trigger tribal conflicts. Mongol individuals were safeguarded from slavery, and the kidnapping of women was prohibited. Theft of livestock was punishable by execution. Furthermore, he introduced a writing system and championed religious freedom. Expanding his gaze beyond the confines of Mongolia, Genghis Khan orchestrated minor forays into neighboring Xiaxia before launching a broader campaign in 1209. The Mongols triumphed over Xiaxia and subsequently directed their efforts toward additional territories. Over ensuing years, Genghis Khan and his forces conquered extensive swaths of land, culminating in the establishment of the Mongol Empire by 1225. This colossal dominion stretched from the Caspian Sea in the west to the Sea of Japan in the east. Genghis Khan's rested spirit compelled him to once again focus on Xiaxia, which had neglected to provide soldiers for a Mongol expedition elsewhere. In early 1227, Genghis Khan led his troops into Xiaxia anew. Tragically, during this endeavor, the leader suffered a fall from his horse. Despite enduring grave injuries, his determination to press on remained unyielding. Regrettably, a complete recovery eluded him, and by the conclusion of that summer, his health deteriorated significantly. On August 18, 1227, Genghis Khan's health took a severe downturn, and he passed away. During his lifetime, Genghis Khan expanded his dominion across vast territories, effectively introducing Eastern civilization to the Western world. Following his demise, his successors further extended Mongol control, and it wasn't until the 14th century that the Mongol Empire began to disintegrate. Though historical records are limited, a multifaceted image of Genghis Khan has emerged, portraying him as a complex individual with various aspects to his character. Genghis Khan's legacy is a complex tapestry woven with strength, brutality, and reverence. His unwavering determination and openness to advice defined his character, as did his brutal military campaigns that hinged on mass massacres to instill terror among those who opposed him. Even in death, his penchant for violence persisted. He commanded his burial sites secrecy, leading his troops to murder anyone encountered during his remains journey. His final resting place was concealed beneath the hooves of 1,000 horses. Centuries later, the search for Genghis Khan's grave endures, driven largely by foreigners while Mongolians honor his memory by opposing its discovery. He remains significant in Mongolia, depicted on currency and vodka labels. Mongolia's vast landscape, sparse population, and limited road network complicate the quest. The Khenti Mountains have been theorized as a potential location, though evidence is scarce. Dr. Fenner and ANU colleagues embarked on rigorous research to unveil Genghis Khan's winter abode. Evraga in eastern Mongolia emerged as a potential contender, backed by careful carbon dating analysis on excavated animal bones. Despite carbon dating's limitations, statistical tools help determine the site's occupation during Genghis Khan's era. Dr. Fenner's work has garnered praise for shedding light on Mongolia's history. Contrary to the previous notion of Genghis Khan's expansion being driven by the millet crop, his findings indicated that aridity affecting food sources influenced Mongol dietary habits. Genghis Khan's legacy endures, acknowledged for shaping the modern world. He tamed regions once seen as barbaric, leaving an indelible mark. Despite the enigma surrounding his life, his impact remains resounding. Subscribe and press the bell icon for regular updates.